Hey DIYers, what's going on? Mike Borders with the Mike Borders channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking Mercruiser outdrive or stern engines, and we're going to show you how to remove your water pocket cover from your upper unit. The single most important thing to take into consideration: go slow, be patient. We'll talk more about that as we work through the project. Coming inside, DIYers, this could very quickly become the nightmare of your project. Take a look at that part that is secured by those 4 bolts, and you can definitely see that there is some serious melting to that part. That is your water pocket unit, and it's got a copper pipe that extends upward. In our case, however, when the boat engine is upright and secured to the boat, that pipe is facing down. And what a lot of people run into is snapping those bolts when removing them. And trust me, that becomes a nightmare. So with that said, in the event that your water pocket unit looks good, there's no melting, most people just keep the one that's installed and move forward without replacing it. However, as you can see with our melted and badly damaged part, unfortunately, we cannot move forward without replacing it. So what we recommend is spraying those bolts with PB Blaster, letting it sit overnight, and then carefully begin removing those. However, in our case, we have actually inserted an extension and socket on each of those bolts, and believe it or not, ours loosened in a pretty friendly manner. However, again, it is extremely important to know and take into consideration, in the event that your bolts do not move, we highly recommend not forcing them. In other words, do your best to restrain yourself from grabbing a long breaker bar and breaking those bolts as you try to loosen them up. Once you break them free, baby steps. Be very patient, go very slow. Again, too many boat owners are running into snapping these bolts inside the upper unit, and that becomes an unbelievably horrific nightmare. Making progress on the left-hand side, both forward and rear bolts have been loosened. They are no longer flush with the housing. That is so melted, not good. On the right-hand side, in the rear, that bolt has been loosened. Unfortunately, the front right bolt is kind of being eaten by that melted housing. So what I need to do is grab a pick tool and carefully pick away at that melted housing that is melted onto that bolt, because unfortunately I cannot get the socket on the bolt. That's the tool I'm using, nothing fancy. It's doing the job though. After about 5 minutes of using that pick tool, I have inserted the socket and extension on the bolt, and it's not seated all the way, but I've come up top and I'm going to carefully with a rubber mallet tap that in place until I got a firm grip on that bolt. Quick update, I removed the socket extension and ratchet, and I grabbed this really long flathead screwdriver. I still was unable to get a good grip on that bolt, and the last thing you want to do is strip it. And if you take a closer look, you may not be able to see it, but even though I have created a groove around the bolt head, I can't actually turn it because each edge or tip of the bolt rubs against that plastic. So I grabbed this long flathead screwdriver and I placed it in the groove I made with that pick tool, and I just carefully just kind of worked that groove away from the bolt head so it's a little bit larger. And I got a good grip of it now. Again, baby steps. Do not rush it. Do not snap that bolt inside that thread. All 4 bolts are loosened and should be able to just pull up this entire part, up and out. And again, DIYers, badly melted. If yours looks like this, replace it, or it will continue to leak water and cause damage to your engine. And back to the inside, coming up from the top, and I'll carefully pull that gasket off, and it will be stuck. Just be patient. There it is. And that's what it looks like inside. We'll go ahead and clean that up before we install the new gasket and new part. So again, DIYers, that is how you remove your water pocket part. And I would say there's not much to it, but there is. Do your absolute best not to break those bolts inside the cast iron upper unit. That would not be good. However, again, if yours looks like that, replace it. From here, do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And in the event that you want guidance on how to install the new part, definitely check out the link scrolling above. That link takes you to the next video where we pick up right where we left off, and we are rebuilding this entire upper unit and lower unit as shown here. So we hope to see you at that video. Thanks again for watching.